drive through the great city of Port Lavaca, I'm reminded of a story that happened in 2018. And I was in CDL school with 6 other dudes, or maybe 5 other dudes. I think I was the 6th guy. But anyway, everyone here, they're all good dudes. And I never really hung out with any of them afterwards. But they were all good dudes. And there were some dudes where I could have hung out with them, but for whatever reason, it just didn't happen. Well, there was a dude in the class. We'll call him Christopher Ryan. His name was Christopher Ryan. And doesn't that just sound like a do-goody, do-good white dude name? Yeah, it does. Of course it does. That because he was a do-goody, do-good white dude. He was a Boy Scout. He didn't do anything wrong. And it's great. And it's fine. And he was a good guy. And he was always nice. And, you know, I didn't really have anything in common with him. And it's not that I wouldn't have hung out with him, but I just didn't have anything in common with him, and I never felt the need to reach out to him or do anything with him. Well, anyway, during the CDL school, and I don't know what happened afterwards. I don't know the aftermath, but I know there was some aftermath. So he decides to get together with his straight-laced, nerdy, do-goody, do-good white friends to go hang out. I think his friend was having some sort of bachelor. One of the friends, one of the 5 do-goody, do-gooders were having a bachelor party. They were about to get married. And I think the other 4 friends were already married. But they had all known each other, and they all knew each other before they knew their wives, most likely. So they were good friends, and they wanted, you know, one last hurrah, one last bang for one of their good buddies, you know. And so it was created. They went out. They all told their wives, hey, we're going to go to this bar, and we're going to have a good time. And, you know, hey, see you later. I'll be home later tonight. But one of the friends decides, hey, you know what? I want to go to the strip club. So let's all go to the strip club. And so the others are like, okay, well, what about our wives? I don't want to get in trouble with my wife. I don't want to do this. And then they all said in a do-goody, do-good white dude way, hey, let's make a pact. Let's never speak of this ever again. Let's never say anything to anyone about this, that we're going to the strip club. If there's one thing do-goody, do-good white dudes love, it is a pact. It's a pact. It's a wolf pack pact. We're gonna go to our graves with this. And you know the way that they said it too. They said it with a smile. They said it with a huge smile on their face. Well, I'm never going to tell a soul about this, and you better not either. We're going to go to our graves on this. We're never going to mention this to even our grandkids. Even on our deathbed, we're never going to mention this. And that was the plan. And so they decided to go to the strip club, all of them, together. 5 nerdy, straight-laced white dudes are going to the strip club. Well, so anyway, they go, and I'm sure they had a great time. And when they got back, they didn't tell their wives. Ooh, they didn't tell their wives. But then, I don't know if it was 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, whatever it was, one of the do-goody, do-good white dudes decides, man, I can't do it. I can't betray my wife. I can't betray my wife. I don't want to break her trust. I don't want to betray her trust. I got to tell her. And in telling her, I'm sure all of your wives are going to find out too, but I can't do it. I just can't live with the guilt. I'm sorry. I'm going to take all of y'all fuckers with me. And so that's what happened. He told his wife, and I'm sure the dominoes fell from there. And Christopher Ryan, our good friend Christopher Ryan, he kept his end of the pact, but his other friend didn't. And all it takes is one for the pact to completely crumble. And so that's what happened. And Christopher Ryan knew that weekend was going to be a shitstorm for him when his wife eventually found out. And she was going to. And because if there's one thing that the do-goody-do-good white dudes all have in common, it's that all their wives are friends too. They all hang out too. They hang out at the barbecue that they have. Oh, let's get the wives together. Let's get everybody together. And maybe they're not best friends, but they know each other. They're Facebook friends. They're Insta friends. They're Etsy friends. They're book club friends, whatever. One's gonna bump into the other. And maybe one only knows the other one, vaguely, but she knows and she's going to tell. And then one is going to be kind of good friends with the other one. And all of a sudden, the other 4 wives are going to know. So, what can we learn from this? The do-goody-do-good. Because they're all good dudes, right? And I'm sure they went, and I'm sure that they didn't cheat on their wives. But the wives sure as hell didn't want them to go to a strip club. And not only that, but they said they weren't going to a strip club. They said it. They assured the wives, hey, we're not going to a strip club. We're just going to a regular club with regular beer. But they didn't go to a club with beer. They went to a strip club with whiskey and beer and bad decisions that came with it, I'm sure. Because all of a sudden you're in a strip club, so goodness gracious, bad decisions are gonna happen. Possibly. In your wife's minds. Maybe not in yours, but in your wife, oh wow, you got that whiskey and you got that beer and you're around strippers, oh my God, what'd you do? But the worst part about it was the lie. They lied. And they're all good dudes, but they lied. And why did they lie? Well, they didn't want to upset their friends, their other friends. They didn't want to upset them. One do-goody-do-good white dude had this wild hair up his ass and decided, hey, let's go to a strip club. And it brought all of them down. And I don't know if it was the one who broke the pact, whose idea it was, but it could have been, and that would have been really horrible. But even if it wasn't, this is just a horrible story because they all, and it wasn't because they broke the pact, it was because they lied to their wives. And what can we learn from this? So if you're in a situation and your friends want to do something, you're hanging out with your friends, first of all, don't have friends. But if you do, don't let them put you in a situation where it's you against your wife. Because your wife is the central figure of your life. You're going to see her face every day. You're going to see her every day. And you made a commitment to her not to betray her trust. And to be committed, and to be truthful, and to be faithful. You made a commitment to her to do all those things. So you need to live out your commitment. Would you want her going to Chippendales? No, you wouldn't. So you don't need to go to floozies either. You need to just chill. And you have to ask yourself in this situation, okay, is it worth it? First of all, it's not worth it to betray your wife, but is it worth the whole strip club experience? You go there, you sit down, and you're in the strip club and you hang out with your friends. I mean, yeah, it sounds like fun, but is it worth your wife finding out about it 3 weeks later, 3 months later, 3 years later? No, it's not. It's never worth it. It's never worth it. You know why? Because just like acid flashbacks, you're going to have relationship fuck-up flashbacks. And she's going to drag you through hell for a week, a month, whatever it is. And then she'll forget about it, maybe. But, most likely, she'll forget about it and move on. And then all of a sudden, guess what? It's going to come back 6 months later. You're going to hear about it 6 months later. Something's going to remind her of that moment, and maybe even sooner. But then 6 months, and all of a sudden, 3 years later, she's going to remember it again. Then 6 years later, she's going to remember it again, and it's never, ever, ever, ever going to go away. You're already going to fuck up. You will fuck up. It's guaranteed. If you're married, And if you're a normal dude, you're gonna fuck up. And it's gonna be unrecognizable fuck ups. You're gonna fuck up and not even know it. You don't even mean to fuck up, but you're gonna do it. You're gonna not notice her new dress. What do we learn from Paula Cole? And we've heard that song a million fucking times. Where have all the cowboys gone? Why won't that song just leave my life? It's not going anywhere. You heard it 100 times on the radio in 1 month in 1997 when it first came out. And then on the other syndicated shows that you watched, Dawson's Creek, Melrose Place, you know, The Weakest Link, 24. You've heard the song on all the shows, and all of a sudden when you thought you got rid of it, guess what? You go to CBS and they're playing it every fucking time you go to CBS. Where have all the cowboys gone? But in that song, don't you pay attention to that song? You've heard it 100 times. You can probably memorize the lyrics. She says she's wearing a new dress tonight, but you don't even notice. And that's all of us. We're not going to notice shit like that. We're not. It's a sad fact of life. Men come up short there. So we're already going to fuck up and piss off the wife. And we don't even mean to. But we can survive the unrecognizable fuck ups. I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't know. I didn't realize it would, I didn't even realize. I'm sorry. She'll get over it in less than 24 hours, but she'll be upset. But you're going to fuck up. And it's going to be, it's just, you're not going to be perfect. You're throwing that perfect game. And in the 7th inning, you throw one, you thought it was a good pitch, it was on the outside corner, but the dude, he hits it off at the end of his bat, and it drops in for a base hit in between the shortstop and the left fielder. And you're like, fuck, that was a good pitch. Well, you were sitting there being good and not doing anything wrong, and then you didn't notice her new shoes, or the fact that she got her nails done, you didn't notice. Well, guess what? All of a sudden, she's pissed at you for the next 5 or 6 hours. It's going to happen, so you're already going to fuck up. Just go ahead and put it on the calendar. Hey, this week and that day and this day, probably going to be fucked up. Hopefully the days in between are going to be great. But you know how you make the days in between the unrecognizable fuck-ups? You know how you make them great? You don't fucking go to the strip club with your lame-ass friends. That's how you do it. You know that was a fuck-up. You know it was bad. And Christopher Ryan, he admitted it was bad. He said, God, I felt bad doing it. But he did it anyway. Why? Because he didn't want to let down his lame-ass friends. Fuck your lame-ass friends. You tell them, hey, listen, I enjoy hanging out with you guys, but I told my wife we were going to go to AAA Bar and Grill and watch the game and have beers and hang out. That's what I told her, and now you want to go to Teasers, the strip club. I can't go to Teasers because I told my wife that I was going to AAA, and I know she wouldn't want me to go to a strip club. I know that would piss her off. So right then and there, even if she finds out and even if no one breaks the pact, it's still not right. I don't want to betray my wife's trust. I don't want to fuck up. You know that's a fuck up. The shoes, okay, fine. The new dress, the hairdo, the nails, not noticing that shit. That's good. That's par for the course. They already know. The wives already know you're going to fuck that up. They already know, but they're going to be upset every time you do. And maybe one time you catch on and you're like, oh, wow, nice pink nails. That's awesome. But then you're not going to notice the next time or the time after that. And you go right back to where you were. They already know you're going to fuck up there. But they think that you're smart enough to know, hey, let me ditch my lame-ass friends because they want to go to a strip club, and let me go back home to my beautiful wife. Happy wife, happy life. It's not worth it. Shit like that is not worth it. Don't do that. If you get in a situation where you know, hey, my wife could get upset if she found out about this, or just the fact that, let's even forget that she even finds out about it. Just, you don't want to upset your wife. You don't want to do something that you know would upset her, even if she doesn't find out about it. That's still wrong. Don't do it. It's not fucking worth it. You tell your friends, hey, I had a great time. I told my wife we were going to AAA. We're not going to AAA now. I appreciate the friendship, but I'm going to have to ask you guys to fuck off. Well, that's it, everybody. Tune in to the next one.